July really is the return to cruising as we know and love it. You will be absolutely astonished when I tell you how many cruise ships are cruising around our world in the month of July. Plus, we received the question over and over about the last 2 weeks. Is the new Delta variant going to have any impact on cruising? We will discuss that and all things cruise news right now on Island Time. Welcome back, all you Islanders. I hope you are having a great weekend. It is Saturday, and it is transition day for a whole lot of people as the Carnival Vista is back in port in Galveston. The Celebrity Edge is back in port. The Horizon will be this weekend as well. And so many people are, of course, getting off the ship and they're leaving their vacation, but so many people for their third round of cruise, of course, for Carnival. The Edge has been out there to be their fourth cruise. They are so excited to cruise. We are 1 week away from sailing with the Carnival Vista, and we are excited to say the least. We cannot wait to go. We can't wait to meet a lot of our Islander community. A reminder, tomorrow night we're going to meet you. We have a date. Remember, don't you go cheating on me now. We have a date tomorrow night, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time. You and I and our Islander community, we are going live, and I cannot wait for it. Go ahead and set your alarm right now for 6:55 Central Time. Jump on and join us. We can't wait to have you here. We also invite those who maybe you've come across our channel the last few days, or maybe this is your first time. We ask you, please come be an Islander, come be an active part of our community, subscribe to the channel, click the bell for notifications. We would love to have you here. Now, let's get to the cruise news. Things are pretty smooth. They really are. When you start to look at the ships in operations now, and you know what they are. By now, Carnival's got two, and they added a third one this week with the Carnival Breeze, the Vista, the Horizon. Royal Caribbean has the Freedom of the Seas. Celebrity has the Edge. Really, it's no news. They're operating as we would expect a cruise ship to operate, which is news in itself. That what the cruise lines are doing, it is obviously working. The protocols they have in place, the limited capacity, the vaccine requirements, even in some cases, are working. Let's talk about where the cruise industry is globally. This will surprise you. There are, in this month of July, there is a return to cruising of 141 ships. 141. And that is from almost 50 different operators. So you can imagine that some of these operators are very small operators. They're operators that you and I would probably never look at when we go to look at a cruise, to book a cruise. If we were going to fly to Europe or overseas, we would look at some of these. But those numbers are astounding. 141 ships, almost 50 different operators are operating, and these 141 ships can service just about 180,000 passengers at full capacity. We know they're not at full capacity, but still, it really boggled my mind when I saw that number of 141 ships that paying passengers like you and me have a chance to go book. We are slightly behind here in the United States than the rest of the world is. The rest of the world started a little bit earlier. We have benefited from it because we saw their protocols. We said, I'll take that. Thank you very much. And we put it in place. We are behind, but it's about to crank up. We all know that. For those of you wondering, MSC Cruises, they are the leader right now in the world with 7 ships operating. They can have a full occupancy of these ships, which we know they're not doing full, but they can have a full occupancy of 25,000. So MSC is leading the way globally. Here in the United States, Carnival Cruise Lines has 3 ships, and we're about to ramp up. In late July, we are really about to ramp up. So I wanted to share that with you. I thought that was astonishing. I really did, and I hope you do too. Now let's get to this conversation about the new variant. We've had so many questions. Facebook, YouTube, emails. We've had all sorts of questions. Derek, do you think the Delta variant will stop cruising? will end cruising again? Do you think the CDC will now step back in and be a more powerful force like they were in previous months because of this new variant? And I'll share my thoughts, and I will just say this now. These are my thoughts on this. We've had a lot of questions about it, so I wanted to address it. So that's where we stand with it. None of this is necessarily written down in pen somewhere and going to happen. But this is what I think about the new variant, okay? First of all, the conditional sell order was created in October of last year with the goal to resume cruising safely from United States ports for paying passengers like you and I. We know that it did not take place as quick as we wanted it to, as passengers, or as cruise lines wanted it to. It took some government action, really, to get the ball rolling. But this conditional sell order that is in place, okay, we can talk about Florida. We know the situation in Florida. But it is in place to allow cruising safely. It was designed to let cruising continue to happen even in the course of a pandemic. That is supposed to be the purpose of the conditional sell order. If you follow what we say in this order, you can cruise. The idea was to get cruising back open, and it has done that. Slowly, we can argue, and we could argue some of the different processes as well, but it has achieved part of its goal. It was designed to get cruising going while COVID was still present. It was present when things started in late June with Celebrity. It is, of course, still present today. The numbers, if you look at them, and we can have our own discussion of numbers and where they come from and everything else, but if you look at the numbers, they are on a uptick. They are going up. But that's what the conditional sell order was designed to help address, okay? The protocols mirror those that were effective around the world. I mentioned that just a second ago. We took things from Europe. We took things from the Middle East, and we used those here in the United States to help us. And they have worked. They really have. And data proves that. And data is really what helped Florida in their case against the CDC, and it's helped us be able to cruise. Now, what are the impacts of this new variant? Do I think that cruising will stop in the near future? I don't think cruising will stop in the near future, simply because this conditional sell order was made to say, if you follow these things that we're telling you to do, then you can cruise. And cruise lines are doing that. They really are. Even though state governments like Florida are fighting the CDC, saying you don't have the power to tell them this, cruise lines are still doing this, everything that's within the CDC. Okay? Now, this Delta variant, vaccinations versus non-vaccinations. A result of this new variant could be that vaccinated cruises, and this 95% vaccinated number that the CDC came up with and told cruise lines you can sell, if 95% of your passengers are vaccinated, 98% of your crew, that may stay around longer. That may be an impact of this variant, is that we will see a longer time into the fall or through the rest of 2021 with vaccinated cruises. Like it or not, it could stay around. Of course, we know that there is another option. You do not have to sail with 95% vaccinations. You can have simulated sailings on each cruise ship that a cruise line owns. Have to make that clear. People sometimes don't follow. It's not just one ship in the fleet. Every ship within a fleet, okay? The Carnival Vista, if it wanted to, Horizon, and Panorama are all in the same class. They would each have to have a test sailing if they did not want to meet the 95% passenger threshold for vaccinations, okay? That's just an example. Cruise lines, Carnival hasn't done this yet. Royal Caribbean has gone the test route with the Freedom of the Seas, and their Royal Caribbean has several others, okay? But we may see the vaccinated route stick longer because the CDC, of course, will push that. And cruise lines have to get it right too. Love or hate the vaccines, the cruise lines have to get it right. And if the way to go forward, the safest is vaccines and vaccinated passengers, that will be the way they go, even if vaccinated people can still catch COVID. But that's the safest way. They have to win this. They've lost billions. They cannot afford to get it wrong, be shut down again. because they did not go the safest route. So we could see vaccinated cruises last longer. Number two, a positive for you and I, if you're cruising, capacity levels could be capped for a longer amount of time. I was very surprised. I've shared this a couple of times. I thought Carnival would be about 60%, as Royal is, in the month of July. Carnival came out and said we're doing 70. Well, they didn't come out. They released their numbers, okay, on the Carnival Vista and Horizon, and they were at 70%. 70% capacity. I thought that would be the number for August. It looks like now they are sticking with that 70% for the month of August from what we hear. And because of this variant, I don't think they're going to increase it to 75, 77% like they would like to earn more money, okay? I think they're going to hold it in at that 70% level and really stick to that because it is the safest. It's not a time to take a risk for cruise lines right now. It's really not the time to take one. So I could see capacity levels being capped into the fall, late fall, maybe even through the rest of 2021 to some capacity if we continue on the trend that we're on. I say that, and I also say this. If people want to book with you, if they want to cruise with you, if they're on the fence, they might as well book. Have them book, pay the deposit. They may have to pay the entire thing, but we have seen several of our Islander community lately, this past month, last several weeks, have friends that wanted to join them. They were on the fence. They wanted to see if they were going to actually go or not. The cruise line, of course, said, yes, we're going to go. And whoop, they took all the settings off the internet and you couldn't book. So we've seen people that said, oh, my brother wanted to go and my sister-in-law, my friends wanted to book. But they took it off. Go ahead and book if you want to. Cruise lines are basically letting you cruise for just about any reason right now, depending on circumstance. But if you don't agree with protocols, if you can't follow protocols, if you call them and you say, I really don't think this is going to be an enjoyable cruise, they don't want to force you to go on that cruise if you don't think you're going to have fun. They will give you a future cruise credit. Some cruise lines will even give you your money back. Royal Caribbean and Carnival have been awesome through the process, although refunds sometimes are slow. Go ahead and book your cabin. And if for some reason people they decide they don't want to go, they can get their money back in most circumstances. Cruise lines this is the most flexible they've ever been, okay? The prices, I think, will remain high. I know a lot of us have said that the prices are kind of high this summer for July and August, and that is simply the demand. The demand is so high, capacity levels are down, supply and demand, the prices, of course, are driven up. So we could see high prices into the fall when traditionally prices would lower from those summer rates. They may actually still be high because of the lower capacity, so they can charge more, of course. And then we could see, and I mentioned this too, we could see an increase in testing because of the new variant and its impacts on being able to spread from person to person faster than any other variant that we've seen. We really could see cruise lines start to test passengers. Of course, they're already doing it, that are unvaccinated. But could the CDC come back and say, hey, as part of this conditional sell order, we're changing it up. You need to test everybody now, even those who are vaccinated. I'm not saying that's going to happen. What we're talking about are impacts of the Delta variant, and this could be an impact to make everyone be tested, or a larger community, a random test per se, for some passengers who are going on a cruise who are even vaccinated, okay? So those are some of the impacts. I don't think cruising is going to shut down. We've been here before with the uptick of cases. Protocols are in place, and I think they will combat whatever presents itself on board. But those are some of the impacts I see of the Delta variant, and you've asked for it, so I wanted to cover it today. I hope you have a great Saturday. We are lined up and ready to go for Sunday night, 7 o'clock Central Time. Please join us. Until then, we will bring you any news as it breaks. You know that. You have trust in us, confidence in us, and we appreciate that more than you know. We hope you have a great weekend, and we will see you next time on Island Time.